Assalamu alaikum. This is Gazim. I'm here with my friend Naeem and Shahid. We're just talking about Naeem's business grocery store. Is it a grocery store? He has started a grocery store, and I just found out, and I would love to learn how he did it and what he has learned from it and what he has to teach us. Go ahead, Naeem.
All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulil Kareem. Amma ba'd. So the way it started is it was an existing business where I wanted to be part of. Now, as like any of us, our goal was to get away from the typical life of 8 to 5 job and try to do something as Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam did. So I always, my father was one of the motivating factors here. Obviously, he was encouraging me from day one that I want you to go and do business, but how you wanna do business? The hard part is to find a way out. So he has been keep saying, if you have a will, you have a way. So all you have to do is to keep your intention right and make sure that if you're doing job, that's fine, but try to save some money, wait for the opportunity to come, and you will one day, inshallah, you'll get the opportunity. And that opportunity came in, and it's the qadar of Allah, of course. So there's a friend of mine who's living with Shahid right now. He's Nafiz. So Nafiz's uncle has a store. So he was struggling with his store, and he was having a very hard time in marketing and a competition around Northeast, a lot of other grocery stores around. So I came into being, and I was like, okay, this is probably a perfect opportunity for me to get into as a business partnership with them. So it's not a sole proprietorship for sure. It is a partnership business. I got into with them. There are a couple other partners involved, and they are running the business operations. And I was in charge of doing the sales, marketing, and the supply chain.
And it's a grocery store, you said?
It is a grocery plus a halal meat shop. So it both.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I got into this, and I got hooked up. But we all knew our strength and the weaknesses, so we knew that I'm not that strong as them in terms of doing some sort of operational stuff, because they have a lot of experience and background experience on that. But I didn't have a lot of background experience on that. So what they told me is they definitely needed someone who is more energetic, more vibrant, know the community people more, and kind of fill the gaps. So we just started together, and it's been growing great so far, alhamdulillah.
So you said that your father has been encouraging you to do a business since what age would you say? Was this?
I would say it was some sort of a thing. I would say it was a passion, more of a passion thing. Like I grew up seeing my father doing business.
Okay.
So what I did is when I was a child, every child has a sort of a wish that they always wanted to go with dad outside. It's one of the things that you always want to do. My dad, instead of taking me to playground, my dad always used to take me to his business shop, and the way I grew up is I used to play with the toys, with the shirts, making some scrap shirts and things that I can find from the garment shops and making toys with it. So I was playing in that environment, seeing my father growing his own business. So it was kind of an embedded in my blood. So it was right through my vein, and my father was just, what he was trying to do is just to instigate the thing that I know that you have it. All you need to do is be courageous enough to go out and try it out yourself. There is nothing wrong losing money. That's okay, no problem. You may lose money, but
was it a good idea to go to school because you have a degree from University of Lethbridge?
Yeah.
Is that something that was a temporary measure? Were you ever doubting going to school and getting a degree?
No, not at all. And that
was part of the path.
That was what my and both my parents and myself, we both agreed kind of, how we should approach this whole thing. If you want to do business, my father said the first thing is you can always do business. The opportunity will come. However, education is something that somebody can never take away from you. So once your age is done, you might not be able to get back to your studies. So this is your time. When it's time for you to study, you study. So a stepping stone for you is to get the right education, and then mix with the right group of people, and then try to learn the business. There is always time for something. Like that was too young age for me to get into business. So my father never saw, if you want to be a businessman, you don't need an education. No, for sure, no. You definitely need an education to do well. Now, I have seen people without education doing the same grocery business failing. Why? Because they have been thinking very traditional way and a typical way of doing business. But when you have those background skills and education, and your mentality mindset is completely different. You always try to think out of the box. How can you do things out of the box? What have you learned from your school? Like all those new media courses and social media courses that you have taken, MIS courses that you can apply back to the, your business concepts. So you see, your study is not really a vain. Like it's something you are gonna use in the practical life.
So a lot of people like to hate on a degree because they're like, it's a 4 years of waste in your life and you shouldn't do it. But you're saying like, go there, learn what you need to learn, and then apply it. Is that right?
Absolutely, yeah. It doesn't have to be a 4 years degree, but what I can tell you is it all depends on how people take it. Like it's people's personal perception and preferences. So if they think that they need a diploma and they're good with it, they're good with it. I have a lot of colleagues who are extremely knowledgeable in the professional area, but they don't have a lot of degree. Like they are not a master's degree holder for sure. They haven't even done their bachelor's degree, but they have a lot of certification done which were directly linked with the work, and whatever they needed, they just went back to school, did a 1 year crash program, came back, applied that to the work.
Okay. One question that I've always been curious about is partnerships. A lot of people are very apprehensive about having a partner because they worry about control. They worry about like, what if things don't work out? I might have a friend that I might lose. Did you have any of these thoughts before you joined these brothers?
Absolutely, I did have a thought. Partnership is always difficult. It is difficult because there is a chemistry that needs to match with your partners. Like you really need to sync your thought and your mentalities and everything. So it is not just a single project that you guys are undertaking. Actually, your entire life gets tangled around with the whole issue of having business together. So even though you say, oh, we keep our personal life in one place and we keep our business life separate, no, it doesn't just happen. When you're in the business, you are just 24/7 working on it. Your personal life does affect, and relationship does affect. So one of the things I really didn't want to do when I started the business is to have a business with a friend.
Okay.
Yeah, and that was very particular of me. I am not sure what your thought process is, what Shahid's thought process is. I'm not even saying that friends, very close friends, doing business and being successful could very likely happen. There could be friends who are very close, really buddy from childhood, but they are great businessmen. I mean, they are great partners. However, my thought process was a bit different. We used to do the same thing before I get involved with these guys, my partners. Our friends all together, we came many times, like having those occasional meetings, the weekly meetings, we call it business halaka or whatever we call it. We used to have that too. But what happened is it remained as a concept. Nobody took the initiative to go in, and nobody was serious enough to say, I want to start up.
And that's because, would you say that's because people were apprehensive about like the details and worried?
I think everybody has that thing in their mind, back in their head, maybe they don't say it.
Right.
But they're afraid of losing the relationship with their friends.
Right.
So when it comes to money matters, you have to be very transparent, and you have to think about relationships. So one thing I don't like to do is to get my family members involved into my business.
Right.
That's what I don't do, and that's the sole reason why I didn't involve my own brother, who lives with me, into the business. Number one, he's not interested in the business. He's more of job focused. But at the same time, even if I could, I wouldn't involve him.
So how did you what criteria did you have for yourself to check off? What check boxes did you have to check off in order to work with these brothers? Like, what was the conflict? Like, how did you come to terms with it?
That's a very good question. So there wasn't a particular checkbox I was following. I was just following my gut feelings.
Okay.
Number one, I did my research, like how the industry is doing, how the market is doing. I saw the prospect that what can I do to change the business? What can I do to take the sales growth, grow the sales and take it a different height? So I was thinking from that angle. In terms of the partnership thing, one of the things I was thinking is their level of experience in the business that I don't have. Because if all of you guys have the same kind of skill sets, we're not going to success, right? One of the things these guys were doing is 20 years, 20 plus years in their life, they have been doing and working in the meat industry. They have been
Wow.
working in the meat industry. They know about meat in and out. Like they know of the quality, the supply chain, they know it all. And which I didn't know. So if I really wanted to start something up with my own brother or my friends, things are not gonna be easy for me. It's not gonna happen, to be honest to you. So I was thinking like these guys have already established a business. They have the right set of mind, and the other thing is the age. Like I'm a young age, I'm a young fellow, and then they are much older than me. So when it comes to understanding, as you get older, definitely age is a factor. Is you get more composed, you learn a lot of things in your life. When you deal with people, you deal with proper respect, and you learn a lot of things. So these guys have already passed our age. So when we are dealing with somebody who is an age of my uncle, they would be more, carry and thinks about. Probably wouldn't mind a lot. They will be more of a teacher kind of role. They will play a mentor role. But okay, no, this is something I really, something that. Yeah, so something that I was thinking of is that this is something I really valued. Is they obviously thought Naeem has a different sort of a skill, and we have. So let me give you an example. So what happened is there were a lot of business decisions that I saw them taking, which clearly I wouldn't have taken.
After you joined?
After I joined, and the reason is in terms of hiring and keeping employees,
Okay.
how to deal with employees, how to deal with suppliers, in terms of negotiation.
Can
The
you think of
reason
an
is-
example, a specific example?
For example, we have when we put up a sign for, let's say, we are hiring them. I see them interviewing people and taking people for the company, for our business, with a completely different set of mindset. Um, a guy came in and he was a very good, mashallah, he was a hafid of Quran. And right away, like my mind was like, oh, I want this guy. Because, like, it's cool, having some, it's a blessed, somebody with that ability.
Right.
It doesn't have to do anything with the business, but I see that, those guys are more I would say honest and have the diligence. They come, they work, and they're focused.
So that was your assumption?
My assumption, and I was right away. I was more of a, I would say, I had a special sympathy for them. Like I was
Right.
like, oh yeah, I was more emotional making the decision. But I saw these guys more practical. When it comes to the business, emotion is somewhere else.
So how did they handle?
What they did is they interviewed the guy and they came in. I was insisting them that I think really like this guy. We should take him. They hired him, didn't say anything, and then a couple of days they paid him the salary and they let him go. And they said
Oh, wow.
basically that we needed someone who has the experience of cutting meat.
I see.
I can see that you would be someone who we need to train, but we needed someone who can get up to the speed right away, like who had a previous background of cutting meat
Right.
and more comfortable, because this is a very there is a safety issue there.
Yeah, I don't think I would do good at that job either.
You have to be really focused on things. One of the things that we found out is he's always with his earphone on his. It's pretty dangerous. So
Right.
those things. So it is just an example of how I take things and how they take things, and it comes with age and with experience. They didn't run businesses by themselves before,
Right.
but at the same time, there were decisions that they take, which I realized at a later time that I think whatever decision they took was better than what I would have taken.
I see. That's
so,
interesting.
So when it came to the matter of marketing, they thought, well, our age has passed. Probably we are too old-fashioned
To understand new media and
Exactly.
these things.
So nowadays, it's all about social media. It's all about how you can get your product marketed.
Can you share with us 3 tips that you have used in terms of marketing to increase the sales for your grocery store?
All right, so I'll be very short and quick here. So the 3 techniques that I have used, number 1 is to understand your market. We have been serving very specific communities. So it is an ethnic grocery store where a specific target market is there. So I try to understand what the client wants, what the requirement is.
How did you try to understand that?
What we did is basically I did a bit of a market research through email marketing, and I was trying to get some feedback from the customers. Also, I was attending the shop pretty much on a daily basis to talk to the customers. I also printed off a feedback form to say what are the product that you're looking for that we don't have in our shop. How would you like to see things differently? What are the variation of product that you would like to see? So there was a set of questionnaire that I gave it to my clients, and a lot of people didn't bother filling it up. A lot of people participated.
You gave it to every single person that came.
It was right there when we were checking out and taking our bills. We were saying, well, we would appreciate if you fill it up and give it back to us. It doesn't have to be right now, but you can bring it to us later on. So there was a few options. A lot of people were reluctant to leave their email addresses with us because of the privacy reasons, and they don't want it to be junked. A lot of people actually did provide us the email address because they wanted to be informed of our promotional activities and whatnot. So I was expecting that even if 1% of my client actually supports me and cooperate with me, that's good enough for me, because I'm just going to probably run it for 100 people. The survey is never for the whole group, it's just a selection of people. So I did it for a good number of people, like about 200, and I was trying to see what
you got 200 responses.
Yes.
How did you give them an incentive? Why would they fill a survey for you?
The reason they did is basically what I said is, if you through the online one, if you actually fill up our online survey, then you get, at the end of the day, you get a 5% coupon or a 10% coupon directly sent to your email. So next time when you come back, we will you get to apply that coupon right away, right? The other thing we did is we often offered them free products when customers are in the store filling up the form. We said, we thank you for your time, we appreciate it. Here is a free juice for you or something else, so that they get motivated, that it's just not a blank thing.
So was this before they picked up the form, you would give them free juice, or after they return it?
No, basically, when they're taking it and they're returning to me, then we say some of them were kind enough to actually sit down in the store and doing it in 5-10 minutes. It wasn't a very tough questionnaire, basically, saying us, did you find everything that you're looking for? Most of the time, a lot of people say, no, I didn't find everything I was looking for, because we're a new shop, of course. So what we did is we said, okay, fine. What did you not find in the store? Can you please provide a list of things that you didn't find?
What type of answers were people giving?
A majority of the people weren't really saying that they needed something. They just basically said, yeah, we found everything, and then just checked out. And as soon as they can check out, they paid the bill and they left. But there were people like friends and families who cared about our growth and business.
But in the response, in the survey response, are you saying the survey wasn't that useful at the end of the day?
It was useful, yes.
So what type of responses did you get that were useful?
It was useful because people gave us a list of products that they didn't find.
Okay, they just gave you like, oh, I'm looking for apple juice.
Absolutely.
By Delmont or whatever.
Yeah. And then they also said, okay, we would like you guys to offer different kind of meat, like marinated meat and something else, so which could be easily, take it home and make it.
Ah, okay.
So right away, that there is a differentiation of product that people are looking for.
Right.
So it's not just about the raw meat that you're selling. It's also people who are looking for something that they can easily bake. They're busy, take home and bake it.
So the first thing you did was doing this market research through the surveys. And then what's the second thing you did?
The second point is I was emphasizing heavily on the social media. I saw the pattern of how the marketing trend is going. And I found that Facebook and Google is extremely helpful in increasing our business. So basically, I was learning how you can do things more efficiently in marketing Facebook. So what I did is I created advertisement in every week with unique products and deals and discounts, and I was catering those ads to a specific group of people.
You were paying for Facebook ads to take them to the website?
Yes.
Okay. What did they do once they get to the website?
They don't really have to go to the website. They actually visit your page. Your page gets popular. They get more hits and likes. And of course, we saw instant responses in our businesses. Basically, my partners who are running the business up front, they have been giving me feedback constantly that yes, your Facebook marketing is working. The way you know it is people are coming back and coming to our restaurant and saying, "Is this shop La Groceries?" Yes,
Oh,
we will say
really?
yes, it is. And we saw your deal on Facebook for 10 for 45 chicken deal. We want that. So as soon as this, as you know, our partners were seeing that, they were giving me the feedback. We got 10 customers coming by seeing your Facebook ad.
Wow.
So by that we know how the growth versus, you know, the advertisement versus the growth is working for us. So that way we know how the campaign, each of our campaign is running successfully.
Do you remember how much the Facebook ads were costing you?
It depends on your target audience. Really, it depends on your target audience. For me, it was somewhere from $20 to $150.
What's the period of time?
Depend on how you run. Now, my average run is about a week. Sometimes only 3 days, only on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, when the people look at the Facebook the most. During the weekdays, people are busy, they're at work, they probably wouldn't see that. So I tend to run my advertisement mainly in during the time of the weekends when the customers are
Excellent.
gonna come and visit us.
What about Google?
Google is good for searches actually. So Google is more expensive. You reach to not to the niche market, but you actually go in a broader market. So you don't really know how many people are coming with the Google ads. You just pay more money, and my return of investment was more effective for Facebook than Google.
I see.
But
So-
Google was good in a sense that when people are searching for, let's say, halal meat store in Calgary, so that they see our name pop up. So in terms of those things, taking people in our website, Google marketing was great.
I see. What's a third tip you have to share with us?
The third tip was basically loyalty and your honesty. So you have to be really loyal to your customers and honest. So it could be a service-based business, it could be a product-based business, but whatever you do, you have to make sure you be very upfront with them and, you know, provide what you promise them. So what we did is we make sure that we do not give them, you know, we do not mess up with the weight. We always are very precise about weight. We get a lot of feedback from customers saying, we went to this so-and-so grocery store. I asked for 5 pounds meat. They said, we have like 5.65 pounds. Is it okay to give it to you? They assume that it's okay for customers to take 5.65.
Really?
So what we do is when we measure them, we measure in front of them, and we say, this is 5 pounds, a little less. So we go a little less, and they're the one who tell us, okay, put more. So we do not presume that, you know, giving 6 pounds to customers is good. And people knew that it was intentional to sell more.
Oh, I
and
see.
we were very particular about those things, and particular about, you know, asking questions and getting involved with customers when customers are coming to the store. A smile is a big thing. Smile to the customers and be engaged and provide them the best quality of services you could possibly. And of course the quality of meat. A lot of time customers are coming, we say, we did not have the fresh meat today. Would you mind coming back tomorrow? And really, customers really appreciated that. Like, I really
What do you mean
appreciate
you do not
honesty.
have fresh meat?
It could happen that our suppliers are giving lamb or beef on a particular day. We get only 3 days a week supplies.
Okay.
So let's say we get the supplies delivery on Thursday night. So Friday, Saturday, people are getting fresh meat for sure because it's been just delivered. But let's say somebody came in on Sunday night, just before we closing the store. We typically tell them Tuesday we'll get our next delivery. So if you're not in a very big rush, come back.
Really?
We don't have a fresh meat right now. Unless you want to take frozen, we can give you frozen. So be honest to your customers. They really appreciate that.
I see. Excellent. This is Nayeem Reza sharing some business tips with us. I really appreciate it. Jazakallah khair.
Well, yeah.
My friend Nayeem.